Welcome to The Clean Truth, where we like to call bullshit on the status quo. On this week's episode of The Clean Truth, we talked about energy suckers. You know the ones. We all have them in our lives. But how you choose to deal with them will determine how you feel on a daily basis. Did you take an Adderall today?
I did not. Scott got me coffee today, so I don't know what he put in. He jacked me up.
It was a nitro cold brew, just the usual.
Red eye.
She's a crackhead.
I'm on Team Adderall. I think she has a little bit of performance enhancing drugs inside of her body today.
I didn't. I only drank what Scott gave me.
Well, we're back, and Psycho Crackhead's back. The weekly ball busting is going on, Yvonne, too, because you came in here spazzed out like a spider monkey, and then what's with the big fuck knot on top of your head?
I don't know. You don't like my fuck nut?
Well, yesterday you had your double barreling the double buns.
So no, I just don't have any hair products. We have been kicked out of our house for 6 weeks now, so I don't have a curling iron. I don't have everything. So I'm just trying to do new things with ponytail holders. I don't know.
You're just trying to be al natural. Let's just not do it. Never mind. We can't go there with this one. All right.
Somebody gave me love out there. Like, this looks okay.
Next on our agenda, we're going to say thank you to Brett Bauer from Rain Monster Energy for all this caffeine that everybody's jacked up on around here. I am currently holding a Black Rifle Coffee espresso drink.
You're the only one in the office holding one of those. Isn't that right, Scott?
You know why? Because they're out. They're gone. We drank them all because they're delicious.
Secret stash.
I never even saw the stash come in.
I'm like a squirrel.
You never had one of them?
No,
Don didn't give you one?
Don is like an only child. Don hoards everything, and he stashes everything, and he does not share well.
I don't like to share.
You did the exact same thing with the hydros. Grabbed a few, put them in the secret fridge, grabbed the espressos, put them in the secret fridge.
If I had to complain one thing about our marriage, it's that. Like the only child Leo syndrome that we have going on in our house.
Well, all right.
And we move on.
Yeah.
That's another podcast.
I got a little note in here to talk about We Changed Lives for just a second. We just finished up the second month. Going into April. We have not picked our winner yet.
Because you guys keep throwing around multiple names.
It's hard.
Tough.
It's
so
not easy.
hard.
Not easy.
It is hard to pick one person to win this thing, man. I don't know how some of these bigger companies that do massive things like this every year, how they do.
Tens of hundreds of thousands.
Man, I mean, it's hard. Everybody here is doing a really good job on this year's challenge. It's pretty cool.
I'm ready to finish out the last 30 days strong. Again,
For sure.
We have not been at our house, so I'm a routine person. When I battle the excuse theory in my head all the time too, because I'm just making excuses. But I cannot, in my life, I have to be in my element to do my shit.
I am too. Oh, you're talking to choir.
So we are back in our house tomorrow, and I'm starting tomorrow. So I'll be one day behind on April.
Me too.
I love it.
I don't care though.
Do you want an accountability partner, Don?
No, fuck off. I don't like accountability partners.
I'll get back to you, Ben. I might need one on this one.
Okay. Anybody out there looking
I may need some athletic programming though, because I'm thinking about switching up my programming a little bit. I'm going to finish out the We Changed Lives strength program.
Or some of yours.
Yeah, but as soon as that's done, I'm going right back into the hybrid stuff I was doing.
I like it.
So anyway, this week's Clean Truth question. This was a good one. Every time I do this, when I put the little graphic that we have on there, I get some pretty good ones, man. How do you know who to trust on social media / what they say and their advice?
I'm going to look at Yvonne because we had an awesome laugh about this with the all these people. I know you guys have all been asking.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, explain what you got to.
There was a reel the other day, and it was some random.
It was fucking funny too.
Some lady, and she's like, well, how did it start?
Everybody's been asking me where I got these shoes from.
Everyone's been asking. She's like, really? Show me the list. Who's been asking you? I know I haven't been asking you. Who's been asking you? We like to see the list of people who are asking you. So I think that's just
classic.
like
How do you trust that it's real? How do you trust?
Correct.
Because
My answer is you don't. Ever. With anyone. Never. Not even me.
yep.
Not even anybody. Because you don't know. It's social media. It's fake. A lot of it is fake. I mean, we do a lot of the things we do because we're a company. We want to sell products, right? I mean, I went a little overboard there. Like, yes, you can trust some people, but like, I mean,
I think it comes down to like, is somebody that you're following, is somebody that you're interested in, is a brand that you're interested in, would they respond to you, and is it real engagement or is it just phony engagement? Which, again, to your point, like takes a long time to kind of sort through the weeds and figure out, is this real or is this just automated trash?
exactly. Yep.
Yeah, I you guys know me. I don't do the social media thing. I post when I need to, and I do like engage in people. You know, it's a lot of our franchisees and friends and stuff. But yeah, besides that, if I don't know them, I don't know. I just don't believe in the whole thing.
I don't either. I've talked about this multiple times in public conversations, on this podcast, in our meetings. I don't listen to a lot of the shit that I used to listen to. I don't listen to the big guru podcasts anymore. I just stopped listening to it. It's the same regurgitated shit. It's just the way it is, man. So I don't know. How do you trust it? You just gotta dig down in your gut, and if that feels good, then trust it. If not, then don't. But my advice to you is 9 times out of 10, it's not.
You also got to know who it is that you're getting that information from and what they're selling. So if you're taking information from somebody who's, say they're selling a supplement and they're harping on how good this specific supplement is, and it just so happens to be theirs, I don't know. So just depends.
Good point.
I think it depends what kind of information, like you said, that you're trying to get. If it's too good to be true, then it probably is. Mm-hmm. Like I was listening to podcasts on the way in here, and obviously because I just feel guilty for not working out as consistently as we normally do, and it was like, if you don't expect to change yourself, like if you're operating at 30% and you are not willing to go to the 50% and 60%, then chances are nothing's going to happen. So I feel like that's with social media. If it's, I don't know where I was going with that, but I was thinking like, I always get sucked into I don't get sucked in, but I get questions about the weight loss. Like, can you get abs in 2 weeks or whatever?
Right.
And I'm like, no.
Good point.
I mean, unless you're already almost there and it's the final straw, but yeah, if it's too good and they want money, probably not.
Well, in a roundabout way, there is a reason why I picked this one, and not just because I think that was the best question that I was asked on that thread, but ironically, it kind of segues into the whole topic of today, and I kind of labeled this one energy suckers. And I was thinking about this up until yesterday. I didn't have a topic for a podcast today.
Have you been reading John Gordon's Energy Buzz?
He has.
I have.
He's halfway through the book.
We'll talk about that, so don't spoil it.
Okay.
But I was thinking about this on the way home. And like I said, I didn't have a topic up until yesterday when I was driving home. And I was thinking about the book that we're reading in our book club with the company here. But I was also thinking about some personal stuff that I've been dealing with. And you and I have sat at home and talked about this quite a bit here lately, especially in the last month to 2 months. And I've got 3 bullet points on my little notes here that we're going to talk around. And the first one is, and it's funny because if you could see my computer screen, the first 4 words of all 3 of them are, I'm fucking tired of. So that's a telltale sign to me that my energy has not been good lately, man. It's not been positive. And so I'm like, why is that? And it's because I keep giving my energy and my time to people that don't deserve it. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
I keep dishing out this energy and it's not reciprocating. So, I have down here, my time is worth millions. Figuratively, I don't mean literally. Maybe in some aspects it could be literally, but what I mean is and I don't want this to come off like a negative energy podcast. I'm not here to bitch about anything. I want to actually do the opposite. I want people to learn and try to take what I'm about to say and what we're about to talk about and put it to use for positive reasons. So that's what I mean. Like, my time is worth millions, and I feel like everybody should think that. Like, you should think, okay, if I'm in a bad mood, why the fuck is that? Or if you had an argument with somebody, or they're giving you negative energy, is your time worth that? Ask yourself that question. That's what I was thinking this on the way home. I'm like,
Right.
I've been dealing with some shit lately. So have you, just different stuff, random stuff, not really anything in particular. And I'm like, this is our fault. It really is. We have to own it because we're the ones giving these people this energy. And it's not being reciprocated. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm tired of pessimistic people, complainers, whiners, laziness, and excuses. That's bullet point number 1.
I agree with everything that you said, and yeah, we see you go through those battles on a daily basis, and you do a very good job of, you know, holding it in and not expressing it like in the workplace. I mean, she's laughing over here because you get the different behind closed doors conversations than we are privy to. But yeah, it takes a toll on your routine. It takes a toll on your mental and physical health. So yeah, I definitely can see where you're coming from.
I'm terrible about giving people. I don't think I give them my energy. I feel like, and you know this, and I've expressed this to our team, is I take on energy. So I can take, I like it's a huge. I'm an energy transfer person. Like,
Yep.
if you are in a bad mood, then I will, like, I'm like a sponge and I'll take your energy and I feel it, you know? So, yeah, this was a big one. I can't close off my energy on this one. I've dealt with this for a long time.
You struggle with it, I think,
do.
more than I do.
And then I feel like, which I've been battling with too, and I don't know who I talked to this about, but then I feel like that I need someone to transfer me energy. And someone told me the other day, they're like, you should be your own energy source. And I was like, ugh, I never really thought about it that way. So it's like, if you can't fill back your energy yourself, then that's a problem too. So I always feel like, like our Laura Berkey calls, I always tell her, I'm like, oh, I love when we talk to you because I feel like I get like this energy from her. But I think I'm looking at that incorrectly.
Mm-hmm.
So
You definitely struggle with this more than I do.
I do.
As you were sitting there talking, I'm thinking of like 5 different scenarios that have happened just in the last 24 hours.
Oh,
that I've looked at you and said, why are you even giving this any energy?
I know.
Why do you even care so much about what this is doing to yourself?
I'm very passionate about stuff, and I'm like, I don't know, the people that I surround myself with, I did a post on this, and I'm like, I expect a lot with the people I surround myself around. And maybe that's my fault. But then I don't think it's like a malicious thing that I expect so much out of you. Like, I feel like I'm challenging you and I believe in you to do that. So I don't see it as a malicious thing, which some people do. Like, because like I told you guys I didn't get that raise, and because my expectation of people is so high that people feel like they can't reach it, therefore they fail. And I only set those high expectations because I believe in the person to fulfill those, if that makes, and maybe that's wrong thinking about that way.
It makes complete sense. And 100% agree. Like, we see that with you too. Like, you do bleed everything that you preach, like every single day. Like, you pour your heart out into what you do, and it almost like eats at you to see people not, like you said, getting on your level and everything like that.
It does.
And that sucks the energy out of you when it isn't happening like you wish that it should be. So
because I turn it on myself too. I'm like, well, what did we do wrong? Or what did I do wrong? Like, did I not set those expectations up to begin with? Like, I turn it back around on me, which then drains more energy from me. Cause I'm like, how did I fail this person? Or how did I, so.
not communicate it.
Well, I think for me,
way.
it even goes past the workplace. It even goes into social aspects too. Because, I mean, I don't know an exact timeline, but for the last few years, I mean, you and I have taken a circle of friends and shrank it down to a dot.
Yeah, we do.
And I think that it has a lot to attribute to this. It really does. And it's just because, I don't want to say you outgrow people, but, when you're around people and you're so amped up about what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, especially when we started building this franchise, we were on cloud nine all the time. We were always hyped up. We were always revved up, 100 miles an hour, blah, 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 blah. And then we go out with people and you're like blasting them in the face with all this energy. And they're sitting at you going, oh, cool. Great. Hold on, let me deal with my kid. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not hating on people for that. But that kind of energy, you're just like, okay, man, I can't do this. Like, you're not on the same energy level as me. You know what I mean? So I think that's had a lot to do with some of this too. Because I think that I was looking at it's funny, I was looking at my phone the other day and I was getting ready to call somebody. I don't remember who it was. And I was flipping through my recent calls and I'm like, there might be something wrong with this.
It's all the same people.
There's only like 6 fucking names in my phone that I call every day. Like all the time. 6 people. All the time. And I'm like, is this me? Do I need more friends? Am I a loser? Or like...
I don't think... No.
I feel that.
You want to say something right now.
No, I don't. I'm just, it's hard. Like I preach this to Gracie all the time because her circle of friends and everyone's heard this. So who you surround yourself with is who you become. You can't be, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like with Gracie, I'm like, who you surround yourself is where you're going to stick.
No,
and
exactly.
if you don't surround yourself with like, someone who motivate, like I'm not saying motivate, like someone that challenges you and all that, like then you're going to stay in this circle, you know, and never get out. So I think it's the same. And it's okay to drop some off your circle too, because their lives change also. So I'm not singling this one out here, but I'm saying with the baby coming, like you and Lex's life will just naturally turn. Like it ain't gonna be Donnie Vaughn anymore because it's gonna be
kicked out of the circle.
I'm not saying you're getting kicked out of the circle, but like your life is getting ready to change. Like, and you're gonna start hanging out with parents that your child hangs out with, which we don't have kids anymore. So that I think you're kicking us out of the circle.
I mean, you got a big child over there across the...
He could relate, probably. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to start being around parents that can feel your pain of staying up all night or whatever.
Right.
Or the soccer. You're getting into the soccer, the T-ball phase where we've already been there, done that. So I don't think we're kicking you out. I think you're going to kick us out.
You heard it today, Scott.
We're going to have a funeral for Ben, and we're going to welcome in Father Ben.
Exactly.
That sounded weird.
Yeah, I know.
It's the next step of your life. So that's a good energy sucker.
Number 2. I'm tired of giving my energy out to people who don't reciprocate it back. I mean, it kind of feeds off of what we were just talking about, but this is kind of a little bit of a different one. So we know a lot of influential people. And I feel like there's been a couple times, I'm not going to name any names or any circumstances, but there's been a couple times in the last couple months where I feel like I've given my energy out to people and they just don't reciprocate it back. Almost like, I'm busy. You know what I mean? And my advice to anybody that's listening to this, if you run across people like that, guess what? Run. For real. I mean...
Well, what if they're busy?
If they're busy, that's fine. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about...
How do you know if they're not... What would make you think that they're not reciprocating? Like, what's the response, I guess?
Just flat out being ignored?
Oh. Do you know what he's talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're kind of saying like there's people that used to be in your circle and you reached out to them or gave them some of your time and invested in them, and at the same time then it was completely like not reciprocated, and you're just like, why am I going to keep on trying to go after that when obviously there's a sign saying I need to stop? I'm guessing. Is that kind of where we're going?
Yeah, I mean, it's that, and then, you know, think of how many people that we've networked with over the last 10 years that we've given tons and tons of time to, tons and tons of energy to. And then you're thinking, okay, well, is this a one-sided relationship? And then you think about it and you evaluate it, and it comes out to find out that it is.
Yep.
And then at that point, you're like, why am I wasting my time doing this anymore?
Right.
You know
I
what
agree.
mean? And I've had a couple instances like that lately. That's what made me think about it. I'm like, I'm just not going to give these people my energy anymore. If they don't give a shit and they don't care, don't do it.
I don't know what your next point is, but I guess for me, I feel like once they get what they need from me, then they kind of dump you. So maybe that's the...
It's kind of along those lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've gotten that, like, they're all hyped up until they get what they need from you or whatever they were looking for, and then silence. So, but it's a mental note. Us females have Rolodexes.
I like it.
That you do.
Vaughn's got a hit list.
Ooh.
Rolodex is also key for a hit list.
I don't hold grudges. Like,
No, I don't either.
believe in, I don't do that, but I always make a mental note. So there's always a mental note.
Agreed. My third and final one, I'm tired of being loyal to those who are not loyal back.
Yeah, amen.
And I could go down a wormhole with this, but for the sake of time and the energy of the podcast, no pun intended, I won't do that. But everybody that knows me well knows that I'm a very, very loyal dude, especially when it comes to brands and products and things that I like. If I buy one thing from you and I have a great experience, I will never go anywhere else again.
Yep.
Hands down. You know, the 5 or 6 brands of things that I buy on a regular basis, there's a reason for that. And those people and those brands have always been loyal back. And that's a number one reason why I come back all the time. But there's a lot of people that I've seen, and this has also happened to me, so that's why I brought it up, where that loyalty, and you keep, you know, you tag them online, you do all this stuff, and you keep trying to say, hey man, thank you, blah, 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 blah. Nothing. I'm like, all right. Well, at this point, now I'm going to fucking go and give it to somebody that appreciates it. You know what I mean?
Yep. I see exactly where you're coming from, and circling back to, like you said, with the social media thing, and I feel like we just did the podcast about this too, like with social media and influencers and things like that, like they're gonna put it out there when they've like you said, Yvonne, like gotten what they want from you, and then they've moved on to something else. And that, I think, to like people like us, because we are energy givers, and we give people, I mean, my wife will tell me I give too much to some people and I trust too much, like, which I know is like a flaw to an extent. And yeah, now with social media and the way that people just broadcast their like daily lives and routines, I mean, that comes out quick. And I 100% agree with you. Like, I need to do a better job of self-checking myself on people that I've been loyal to, and had the loyalty has gone out the window and has left, because I'm the kind of like, I'll be loyal to the day I die kind of thing, but not even like evaluating, like, maybe why did I waste my energy
exactly
in that?
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
And I just never want to be mean and, like, you know what I mean, and like stop that text or call or whatever. But like, I can even take it down to like phone calls, like what you were saying with phone calls. And sometimes I feel like I'm always the one calling the friend from a different state or something like that. When is that phone call coming from the other line? And it's like, my mom will even say like, hey, you got friends everywhere. Well, it's probably because I've invested so much energy. So maybe I need to almost self-evaluate and say, okay, who's going to call me, and who's going to check in and see how I'm doing? Why do I always have to be the one to do that? And I'm not trying to get on a soapbox and sound like I'm bitching, but just the way that you're talking makes me think in my head of my Rolodex of like, damn, like, I need to self-evaluate a little bit more, because I'm probably losing some of my energy that should be with my family, with my close friends, and with,
there's a better ROI on your energy being put in places that you're putting it where it's not.
Correct.
And I could say the same thing. I mean, I have friends that, you know, I grew up with back home that I haven't talked to in 10 years. And it got to the point where I was always the one texting like, hey, miss you guys, how you guys doing, blah, 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 blah. Still to this day, 10 years later, I still haven't gotten a text back.
Yep.
So I'm like, all right, well, fuck it, I'm not going to text you guys anymore. And I haven't. And there's some of those guys I haven't talked to since we moved to North Carolina.
Pretty crazy. I'm digesting that right now because I'm just like self-checking. Like
it's a big
right
one,
now.
man.
Yeah,
I know. It's not just
your
companies.
poor face. Like I see
like,
the stress that's coming on.
Yeah, because
you're
like,
thinking.
Because I'm thinking, and like, I think if anybody knows me, I'm usually pretty much like smiling. Like 9 times out of 10, like that's just my attitude. That's who I am. But like I said, my wife will tell me she probably got a list of people I need to like stop, like trying to stay connected to because, like, yeah, the trust and the energy is not worth it there anymore.
Yeah, I wasn't just speaking in business terms there. That goes for friendships, any type of relationship can be compared to that.
Yep.
I don't know if I have a problem with this one. I think I might be the problem on the other end of somebody, maybe, because
There you go.
I mean, I'm always loyal to some. But
You said that with your girlfriends before.
Yeah.
Like you need to do a better job of responding when they reach out. I've heard you say that.
Yeah, I would definitely say I'm loyal. So, but I think the circles that I keep around me, like we are all busy, and so if we don't talk for 6 months, I don't think it's because of anything like that. I think we just pick up where it is. So I think when I surround myself, that's the people I usually that are not the ones who are wanting a text message every day from me to confirm something, like
Right.
I can think of
No, definitely not. Like the top 3 girls that you hang out with all the time, I'm sitting there thinking, if you texted all 3 of them every day, they tell you,
they would be
bitch, what the hell is wrong with you?
So I think that's who and maybe that's just maybe the people that were doing that, like they have just dropped off and feel maybe the same way as, but I think I could reach out to anybody and text, and if I needed something, they would be there type of thing. So I don't know. I hope that I'm not that person on the other line. I'm very loyal. Like if I give you, I think loyal because if you get my word for something, and you know this because not that we've had arguments, but I'm like, no, like it's a handshake. Like my handshake is a contract, and I will go down with them at the moment,
Right.
So
A lot of our business stuff still to this day is on a handshake.
a handshake. Yeah. So loyal. It doesn't need to be a contract between me. So, but as far as the other one, I don't know. I'll have to work on that one. Do I text you back? I do.
You do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not on the Rolodex in Ben's head right now, so that's good.
I don't know. I mean, we can wrap it up there, and I'll just kind of summarize this, because this has really been bothering me a lot the last couple of days. Thinking about this, the last couple of months, honestly, but especially these last few days, this has been a shit show of a week. And just driving home last night, I was like, man, this is going to be a good podcast, good topic to talk about, because I think we're not the only ones that struggle with this. But not just people that own businesses. It ain't just that. It's just, you have to learn where to invest your energy. And if you're sitting around and you find yourself always in a bad mood or always down or always like, and there's no positivity around you, you need to take a look in the mirror and ask yourself, where am I giving my energy to? Because that's probably the problem. And I think that's what, that I know, I don't even have to think about it. That's what you and I have been having issues with. We've been giving our energy and dishing our energy into directions that is not being reciprocated and it's not coming back. And in turn, it's stressing us out. We've been, just
Eating it, like letting it build.
It's been sulking. It hasn't been good. Not between you and I. I'm not saying her and I, but things have been a little fucking hectic lately, and I think that's why. It's because energy suckers. All right, till next time.